You're probably wondering what issue could possibly bring Chuck McIlhinney to the home of Chris and Marine Service. Since this issue first surfaced with the Hobby Law, it's been a concern of mine. It was a federal law that was passed down to the states. It was not done with the state legislation. It was done by basically by lawsuits that came down to us, and forced our county into going away from a machine that's worked perfectly fine for many years. They didn't want to do it either. They were one of the last counties to hold out, but in the end, the state and Secretary Cortez made a decision, and we went to a new machine, electronic machine. Spent a lot of money, I think a lot of wasted taxpayers' money to do it. And now we're sitting here wondering, questioning whether or not these votes are the actual votes. Now, although most of the machines that have been in production for many years are probably accurate, they're counting votes just fine. I certainly like the vote count that came out last time I ran. But there should always be a confidence that your vote is going to be counted, and it's going to be counted correctly, and it's verifiable. So a paper trail, some sort of a paper trail, that we can go back and double check the votes is something I think is essential to the democracy in America. It's something that sometimes technology isn't always better. So I'm committed, and I am chairman of the Senate State Government Committee. I am committed to taking a look at this issue, and anything that I can affect in Pennsylvania, I'm going to do my best to make sure that we have the best type of voting machines and voting system in Pennsylvania. Hopefully, it's something that we can also stress to our national leaders, that this is something that we can do best at home, and do not prescribe some sort of a technological nightmare that could be put upon us. This is something that we've always handled ourselves locally because of one election in a few counties in a state about 9 years ago now. The entire country's system has been changed and is being questioned now by the voters. And if the voters can't feel confident about the results in an election, then we don't have a democracy anymore.
Right.
So,
this is a non-partisan issue. You know, people talk about bipartisanship. You know, I work a lot with Chuck, and we say it's bipartisan, and sometimes it is. But when you talk about the integrity of our vote, is a non-partisan issue, and I think that's so important. We need to make sure we do everything in our power to put integrity, honesty, transparency into our government, and part of that is that how we elect our elected officials and that process. And so there's no necessarily easy answers. But one quick way to do it is to have some type of verification, and some type of, I always say that, if you can go into an ATM machine and you can get a receipt there, a paper receipt on what your balance says, and then they have a recorded vote, and there's ways to manipulate it. Don't get me wrong. Although I haven't figured out a way how to manipulate an ATM machine, but there's got to be a way to make this happen.